In the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, welcome, brothers and sisters, to this time of worship. It is a joy to be with you today. Let us open our hearts and minds to the witness of truth. We are here to learn what it means to follow the way of Christ, as revealed to us through the gospel writers. Lord, help us to seek first your kingdom, so that we may be the salt and light of this world. To be disciples of Christ means to follow his example and commandments. First, the commandment to love God. Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. And that's in Matthew 22, verse 37. Second, the commandment to love one another. Love your neighbor as yourself. And that's in Matthew 22, verse 39. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. We are grateful to be called as disciples to celebrate your love, God, in community with one another. We're grateful to be called to love you with all our heart and to love our neighbors. We realize that we often fall short. Too often we act selfishly and fail to cross the boundaries that separate us. So we beg you to love us and encourage us to continue to love you and to love our neighbors with the power of your Spirit. The early Bible writers must have had extraordinary imaginary powers. You could say they were the theoretical scientists of their day. Theoretical scientists are the scientists who make up the stories. Practical, also called empirical scientists, will either prove or disprove. Somehow, the Bible writers knew that humans have a dual nature. On the one hand, we have an urge for self-preservation. That's the one that enables us to instantly respond to attacks, either by fleeing from the scene or by fighting back. Fear is the driver behind this behavior. On the other hand, we have this other urge to care for one another. Compassion is the driver here. This discovery of the fear motive explains why the world is so chaotic and messed up. Compassion does the opposite. It calms things down and leads to peace and tranquility. Along came a powerful priesthood. They discovered that people living in fear are easy targets for exploitation, so they came up with the concept of original sin. The idea that Adam's sin and resulting fear is somehow passed on to the next generation automatically. If they could convince people that they had the solution to their problems, they could control them and, most importantly, control their purse strings. That worked well until the Anabaptists came onto the scene. Infant baptism does not save you, they said. Baptism is when you, as an adult, take the conscious decision to follow the way of Christ, to surrender to God. Given the financial implications, it is no mystery that long and bloody wars have been fought over this question. The Christian answer to the messed up world is, of course, love and compassion. The God Jesus knew is nothing but love and compassion. We now know that we humans have the extraordinary capacity to override our natural instincts and respond with compassion instead of fear. We must love one another. That means, among other things, that we must quit hoarding power and wealth. If everyone were to do that, there would no longer be any room left for fear. Jesus' instruction not to worry would be entirely achievable. The world has enough resources to provide for everyone's physical needs. We have within us the capacity to care for everyone. Doing that becomes even easier as fear and suffering is eliminated. But we must take those first baby steps ourselves. It isn't easy because it involves becoming aware of how what we do and say impacts the world around us, and to deliberately adjust our behavior, override our natural instincts. Jesus loved one another, he means for us to do our best to enhance the lives of people around us. The opposite of people motivated by fear. Brothers and sisters, as we end our worship today, let us keep our hearts tuned to God, to heaven in Christ, be to live in love. May the peace of Christ be with you always.